Hello and welcome to Real Opinions, and today I'm going to be reviewing Captain America Civil War. I always forget the Captain America part of that title because it doesn't feel like a Captain America film, it feels like the Avengers 2.5. Basically, I have been for the last year complaining about this film ever since every trailer I've gone, this looks cheap, this doesn't look like the Civil War from the comics, I don't care about Bucky, I wasn't a big fan of the Winter Soldier, like I get why other people are, but I personally didn't really like it that much, and I was really skeptical of this film, and everything that I heard, I kind of went, this really doesn't sound like it's for me, and I will say I have never been more wrong in my prediction of a film. Like, I'm not infallible. I can be wrong, because this genuinely is one of Marvel's best films. It's at least in the top 3. It might even be the best. It's really good. So we'll start with a plot thing. I won't do any spoilers because there are some narrative twists. There's not like any big major Kaiser Soze moments, but obviously it does have some surprises, so I'm going to keep this as brief as possible. But basically, the narrative is concerned with the Sokovia Accords, which basically is like part of the aftermath of Age of Ultron, where the UN basically have made this document where they want the Avengers to like answer to them and not be a private organization anymore, so that they can like have damage control. And after a certain incident at the beginning of this film, the Avengers are basically made to have an ultimatum where they either have to agree to these accords or just be forced into retirement. So there's an initial disagreement between one side led by Captain America and one side led by Tony Stark. But at first it's nothing more than that, it's just a disagreement. They kind of talk it out. But then when Captain America's war buddy Bucky gets involved for reasons that I won't go into, it's kind of exacerbated a bit, and then it goes into a full-on war. And I think one of the things that's most successful about this is that you actually end up switching between the two sides a lot. Like, I didn't think I'd feel as involved in the actual conflict as much as I did. I thought I'd just want to see the people fight, but I wouldn't care why they were fighting. But I genuinely was, throughout the film, kind of switching sides as they keep like revealing new information and certain people change sides, and I genuinely was kind of like, well, maybe they've got a point, maybe they're right. And then particularly towards the end, when there's a particular twist that does sort of change it up, and I was like, oh. And at that point I did feel like I was a lot more engaged in the story than I thought I was going to be, and I genuinely was kind of emotionally affected by some of it. I was never weeping or anything, but there were parts where I realised I cared about characters that I didn't think I cared about, and I think that's one of the things that the Russo brothers really did well, was kind of took some of the characters that have been sidelined in Avengers Age of Ultron, and things like that, and really made them developed and cool and funny, and like people I cared about. Like people like Falcon, who I have not stopped criticising and bitching about for like over a year. I liked Falcon in this film. I liked War Machine in this film. I liked Scarlet Witch. There were moments where I thought Vision was okay, and I never thought I'd say that. Ant-Man's really great. I never in a million years thought I'd leave a big Marvel team-up movie and go, I wanted more Ant-Man. But they use Ant-Man really well, and there's one particular moment with Ant-Man that I won't spoil that was my favourite part of the whole film. And as well as that, you've got other characters. You've got new Spider-Man. Tom Holland is probably, if not the best Peter Parker, the most comic booky Peter Parker that we've had on screen yet. Because part of that's because he's the youngest and he feels the most like a teenager, but he has that kind of enthusiasm and energy that he has in the comic books, where he doesn't stop talking and he's just like a kid. And it was really cool, and the way they use him in the action sequences feels a lot like anyone who used to watch Spider-Man cartoons will kind of feel like it feels like that the way he moves, the way he crawls and everything is exactly like Spider-Man used to be in the comic books, and that was really cool for me. And as well as that, I would say that the main thing I never thought I'd care about that I did is the relationship between Bucky and Captain America, which is something that everyone seemed to think was really emotionally affecting before with the Winter Soldier, and I just was like, it's fine. But here they properly develop it, and I really understood why Captain America felt the way he did, why they were fighting over Bucky, and it didn't feel petty. Like, it felt like it mattered why they were fighting. It wasn't just, leave Bucky alone. And I really did actually grow to care for Bucky. I mean, it helps that Bucky has some of the best action in the film. Like, the way they choreograph Bucky and Cap's fights in particular, because it's very practical led, very like stunt heavy. It makes them cool, which makes you care about them, because some of their fights, there's one where they're in a stairwell fighting a load of like special forces guys, and it's like something out of The Raid. It's not ultra violent, obviously, but in terms of just how well choreographed and well staged it is, it was really good. And that was the moment where I kind of thought I'm more on board with this than I thought I would be. And it does something that, say, Batman and Superman didn't do quite as well. And incidentally, I haven't said what I thought of Batman and Superman. I liked it, it was a mess. But here, it doesn't feel like a mess at any point. It feels like every character has a moment that makes them really cool. They also are really developed, they have interactions with other people, and you learn new things about all of them. And yet it still manages to maintain its central focus on the conflict between Captain America and Iron Man, and work as a Winter Soldier sequel at the same time. It manages to do all of that stuff without ever feeling like a mess. A couple of characters maybe don't get the screen time they should, like particularly Baron Zemo, who's the villain of the whole thing. He's kind of orchestrating it. I thought he was a good villain who managed to do like the simultaneous thing of being menacing but also sympathetic at the same time, that I don't think many villains do, because they usually one outweighs the other. But here I thought he was both quite well, but he's only in it for like 15 minutes, so you never really get to feel like he's this big nemesis that you want them to take down because of it. And I would say that for me, I know this is going to be kind of controversial, Black Panther did nothing for me. I thought he was incredibly bland. I hope they make him cool in future films, but I just thought he was just nothing. Main selling point, the thing that elevates this above all the other Marvel films, besides the fact that it's different because it's not a massive citywide destruction, apocalyptic threat, but actually an internal conflict that feels kind of a bit more emotionally compelling, is the fact that the action far exceeds anything in any of the others. This is like, the quality of the action in The Winter Soldier was good, but they really build upon it here. From the practical, stunt worky, well choreographed fights with Cap and sort of some of the less superpowered heroes, right through to the big, spectacle-y CGI stuff. It's really inventively done, and everyone uses their powers in ways that would never have occurred to me, particularly Ant-Man and Spider-Man, who they use so well. And the big fight in the airport, which is one thing I was really, really skeptical about. I just thought, like, why is Civil War 5 people fighting 5 people in an airport? That's not a war, that's nothing. That bit is one of possibly the coolest thing in any Marvel film yet. It's such a good fight, and it feels like it's taken right out of the comic books. And it goes on for like 20 minutes, but it feels really satisfying, and you get everything you want from it. There are a few problems, but they feel like nitpicks more than anything. Like, I felt like sometimes the editing was way too quick, particularly in those kind of more grounded fight sequences, because I guess they were trying to go for a Bourne kind of feel. It doesn't feel like when a director's kind of trying to cover up their incompetence or the bad stunt work by doing quick editing. It just feels like it's a genuine aesthetic choice, but I thought occasionally it made things a little incoherent. And as well as that, like I said, the villain doesn't get quite enough time. Didn't really love Black Panther, but overall this is Marvel's best film in terms of narrative for sure, possibly their best film in terms of character, and easily their best film in terms of actual action and set pieces. And the end genuinely had me thinking that there were proper stakes here, and that anything could happen, that this film could have genuine repercussions on later Marvel films in a way that would matter. And I genuinely felt that sense of jeopardy in a way that I never thought I would. There's a post-credit sequence, that's one thing I would say. I don't know, we got an early screening and I don't know, sometimes they leave the end post-credit sequence off, but we definitely have, there's definitely at least one. It's okay. It's a fine one. But overall, I really, really liked Civil War, like way more than I thought I would. There's 1,001 things I could mention, the music's great as well, but overall, I'm hesitating to go too far because so much of this was surprise for me that I don't want to oversell it in case it's entirely just because it was not average like I expected it to be. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 but I really, really loved this film, and it is one of the best superhero films I've ever seen. And I genuinely believe that, and it's not critics overhyping it. It is that good, and I've never been so happy to be wrong. Hey.